You guys having a good time? Yeah. How many of you, this is your first cruise? So it's your favorite cruise? Yeah. It's the best cruise you've ever been on. It's so weird. I was just talking to her earlier. It's like Mother Nature has given us 10,000 clues to stay the fuck out of the ocean. You can't drink this shit. You can't breathe underneath there. There are 10,000 things there that will eat your ass at the drop of a hat. And yet here we are, thousands of us, on a boat, floating in this shit that Mother Nature has said, stay the fuck away. Live on the land. And yet here we are on the Jericho cruise, making history. Let's give it up for everybody. Now, the name of the show is Keepin' It 100, but me personally, I keep it 99 because I be lying sometimes. All right? I'm just going to throw that out there. And we do got to make an announcement that I'm sure you all know. A member of the Keepin' It 100 crew. I'm sorry, I can't hear you. Can you repeat that?
Disco sucks! Disco! Piece of shit!
I'm sorry, what was that?
Naked on the back.
Now, forgive my language, but that motherfucker's stupid, y'all. That is one dumb human being. If y'all listen to Keepin' It 100, you know that's not the first time I've said that. Over and over, and I tell other podcasts, he's like a little puppy to us. You know, he's adorable, he's cute, you like him, but then sometimes he shits on the carpet and you're like, you motherfucker. We've had 13, 14, 15 months to get this shit together. We were like the first act they hired, they booked for the cruise. We were on that shit that long ago. I go, man, I gotta get my passport. Motherfucker, the Bahamas isn't in America. You didn't know you needed a passport? I gotta get my birth certificate. Your old ass, they don't even make birth certificates for you no more. That shit's expired. Like your birth certificate's expired just because your ass is old. And then he's going to the DMV. He's giving us this runaround. Like, what the fuck you going to the DMV? You don't have a driver's license? You're a 50-year-old man. You can't be fucking Ubering everywhere. But that's the Disco Inferno. You gotta love him. Because if not, you would murder the motherfucker because he's not benefiting mankind in any way, shape, or form. There's no benefit to him being here other than like a puppy. You get to pet him every now and then, and that's why he's the puppy of the group. But now let me bring out the mastermind, and I'm using that term lightly because let me tell you about this other motherfucker on the Keepin' It 100 crew. We got a meet and greet this morning. Call time 10:45, 11 to 12:30. We're going to do some autographs, pictures, that sort of shit. Cool. So there I am. Keepin' It 100 crew. We already down one man. There's only 3 of us. Well, you know, JoJo's a producer, but he's chatterbaiting 24/7. There's no Wi-Fi here. He ain't going to chatterbait. He's not coming. That's why he ain't here. So now it's just going to be me and Conan. One would think. This Iranian tobacco smoking motherfucker. Now, it's kind of a cultural thing with the luchadors to never be on time. Nobody knows why. Nobody knows who started it, but that's just how it is. I don't give a shit what that poster says on a luchador show. If it says 7:30, that shit ain't happening. And I did luchador shows. Hey, you guys meet down in the hotel lobby at 12. That shit ain't happening. The Americans show down at 12. The luchadors show up whenever the fuck ever o'clock. Now, nobody lives that lifestyle more than Conan. Because 100% of the time, he's late. 100%. And I was like, can't you just throw a curveball and every now and then show up on time just to fuck with us? So not today. Today, he threw me a different curveball. He didn't show up late. This motherfucker didn't show up at all. I'm still waiting for the meet and greet with Conan. And then here, y'all saw me walk down here. When I was walking down here earlier, I had no idea that motherfucker was going to be here. I was fully prepared to come on here and bullshit with you guys for an hour, and I was going to do it because that's what I'm good at, but I was going to do it. I was prepared, but he did show up. When the red light's on, he does perform, And he is legendary. And you guys it's really understated his importance in the business. If it wasn't for the behind the scenes work, / bullshit, / getting high sometimes, but if it wasn't for his efforts in making that cruiserweight division in WCW so hot, and bringing in those luchadors that really influenced the hybrid style that is the #1 style in the business right now. If it wasn't for him, there might not have been a Sugar Shane, because that cruiserweight division popped, and that's why they were looking for American cruiserweights. That's why I got my shot in WCW. So if there wasn't a Sugar Shane, there might not have been a Hurricane. And there's a lot of guys that owe a lot of favors, whether they realize it or not, because they benefit from driving down and walking down the street that this man helped pave. And he's the master of the vernacular gems. He's the man behind the scenes with Keeping It 100, and he's relatively on time today. Let's bring out K-Dog, Conan.
He showed up! He showed up! He showed up! He showed up!
This is a make good for not showing up at the meet and greet.
All is forgiven. All is forgiven. But I want you to know, some other guys gave this shit to him. They were going to give it to me anyway.
Wait a minute. But please tell them what I told you when I showed up and you told me that you went to the meet and greet.
She asked me earlier, she goes, well, what's Conan going to say? He's going to say, man, thank you for taking care of me. Thank you for looking out.
Thank you for holding it down.
Thank you for holding it down. I was like, that's exactly what he's going to say. He walked up, he goes, man, thank you for holding it down. But I got to say this now, and y'all, by round of applause, I want to know if y'all agree with me. Because under the contract, there was a certain dollar amount attached to Conan, Hurricane, and Disco. Well, since that one dude ain't here, and I'm pulling my load and then some, I got to say that dollar, this palm is a little empty, y'all. You know what I'm saying? Greasy wheel needs some oil, y'all. What you think?
Oh, you know I'm going to take care of you.
You going to take care of me? I don't want none of that peso shit either.
And the reason that I keep continuing to show up late is I don't want to break that tradition, that time-honored tradition of luchadors showing up late.
So it's respect. It's a respect thing.
It's a respect thing, definitely 1,000%. Thank you all for being here.
Do I get the big chair? Don't you deserve? You're the boss, man. You do.
Ooh, we're good.
I get the big chair?
Yeah, we're good. You're pulling most of the weight today.
Well, come on over here, girl. Get your ass. Hey, let me give this up, too. Check this. You see this?
Yeah.
This was given to me by DJ Z. Because I was his agent in TNA for a lot of matches, and I went out of my way to help him on a lot of different things. So he went out and found this cool-ass fanny pack with a luchador mask, and I don't know if you can see it, but it's the Pac-Man arcade game in the background. And fanny packs are back, so I don't want to hear no bullshit from you guys. All right? But I just want to throw that out there. DJ Z.
It's incredible here. Unless you bump into somebody somewhere or like say, hey, I'm going to meet you somewhere at a certain time, you're incommunicado in this motherfucker.
Man, this, like not having internet, this shit's barbaric. You know, there's some caveman shit in here, man. I need my phone. I don't let her out of my sight. Your ass don't go nowhere.
Yeah, this is what it felt like back in the day when there was no internet. Like if you went to school and shit went down at your crib, you didn't find out till you went home.
Why, your wife moved out and took all your shit?
Whatever. But you weren't bothered during school time. You weren't getting messages. Nobody was pulling you out. If you didn't see something on TV, you just didn't see it. Or you had to wait till the summer when there were reruns and shit.
And you've been on a cruise before, right?
Well, I was in the Navy, so I was on a 7-year cruise.
You know what? That might be one of the dumbest questions I ever asked, because I did know this motherfucker was in the Navy, so. Well, I asked Jerry Lawler told me he never been on a cruise, and I was like, the Mayweather didn't count? Mayweather, Mayflower, y'all know what I meant to say. Mayflower is what I meant. But I had to start off hot with him, because if you hang around Jerry, he's going to be zinging your ass every time you blink.
Did anybody see the Chris Jericho concert yesterday?
Yeah.
I saw the one during the day, not the one at the night where he busted his head open.
Did
you know
he?
this?
No.
Motherfucker got color, y'all. Yeah, he damn split his eye open doing some kind of crazy Christian. He's the last rock star, you know what I'm saying? He's from the age where you would always see these rock stars and you'd hear all these crazy stories, and sometimes there was mugshots attached, and one time I was attached to that mugshot too, which is, that it is. Chris is a legit rock star, and he's still living that life like, he's Van Halen. He's those guys, a rock star. Like, he don't give a fuck about his TMZ age. Like, yeah, report me. I don't care.
Yeah. He was doing rock star shit yesterday. There was one guy which I loved. His only job, I think his name is Jake Stevens or something like that. Jack Blade. Jack Blade. So he went in there. You're a rock star when a guy comes out and just pulls off your jacket for you. That Jack Slade did that, and Jack Slade also kept the drinks coming. And there was a little ice cube in the dressing room, and it said, Chris Jericho drink and Chris Jericho ice cubes. That's rock star shit too.
He had his own ice cubes?
His own ice cubes.
Now I want to say, because I know at Sapphire's, Disco pulls off dudes' jackets all the time. So that does happen. Yeah. But Jericho had his own ice cubes?
His own ice cubes. And I opened it up and the drinks, and it was like Grey Goose and I think some cranberry shit there. And this guy just kept bringing the drinks. So you're a rock star when they're handing you drinks on stage, when a motherfucker's pulling your jacket off. There was one part where a guy went out there and he was incredible. Did you see that one guy, the one guitarist that did that long ass riff? Yeah. He was awesome. So Jericho's now
long hair.
Huh?
Long hair?
They all have long hair.
No. One guy's got the short blonde hair, and Rich Ward, who fantastic. He also played for Stuck Mojo back in the day. Okay. Rich is awesome.
Yeah, he threw down.
Might have been him.
And so while he's out there doing his riff and all that, Jericho's up against the speaker, and he's having kind of like an orgasm, and he's playing with his hair, and he's like this, and it's almost like he's being, I don't know, maybe anally motivated by the music, and he's just going nuts, and he's doing rock star shit that, like, if you did in front of a wrestling audience, you'd probably be booed out of the building. He's like, everybody say hi to Ricky. Hi, Ricky. And the guitars, did you see that? Yeah.
I watched the show.
Yes. That would not get over in a lot of other places.
Yeah. I don't think I missed the part where he was getting anally scintillated.
Yes. That definitely happened. Now, we have a couple guests here with us today, okay?
Yeah. But I bought the good looking ones. You bought dudes, right? See how Sugar Shane rolls, y'all?
The show ain't over. I will get him back. So we want to introduce Keepin' It 100 Hall of Famer.
He is a Hall of Famer. Yes. Keepin' It 100 Hall of Famer. That's an exclusive club.
Right. A guy that when he had long hair, I used to call Antonio Banderas, and now you all know him as Frankie Kazarian.
From SCU. SCU.
I got one right here. What's going on? Now, guys, I got to say, I had every intention of coming out here and sticking up for and defending Glenn Gilberti, the Disco Inferno. But for the love of God, I just can't do that. And I've always been in Glenn's corner. But when a 50-plus-year-old man does not know that he needs a passport to get on a cruise, how can I defend that shit? I cannot. But I'm happy to take his place. I'm happier to take his payday, and I'm happy to be here with you guys.
Well, I got a bit of bad news because we just negotiated that I get his payday.
Oh,
so.
All right.
But, hey, man, I'm going to hook you up.
You're okay.
This ring, part of that Ring of Honor locker room, I can't stress enough. That's one of the most enthusiastic and happy-ass locker rooms I think I've ever been in. Hey, everybody's just running around doing all these crazy vignettes. They're all filming whether it's the Being the Elite, the SC, the shit you did with Scorpio Sky where y'all did the Rocky 3. Dude, yeah, I loved and I also hated that I wasn't a part of it. That wasn't my idea. Because I love Rocky movies, and the most unbelievable thing in all those Rocky movies was that Rocky beat Apollo Creed running down that fucking beach.
Right.
There's no way that shit could have happened. He could beat Drago. He could beat all that shit. There's no way his ass could have outran Apollo Creed on that beach.
That movie's all about cardio. The whole premise was Rocky training in Philadelphia just wasn't cutting it. He had to go to SoCal. He had to get his cardio up. Think about it. Mr. T's ass was blown up. He punched himself out.
Yeah.
And Rocky leaned down to, 130 pounds?
Yeah, it was the rope-a-dope.
And beat his ass, yeah.
He did the rope-a-dope technique.
Yeah, that may be my, almost 21 years in, that may be my proudest moment in the business. And it's just me and Scorp running in very short shorts on the beach, getting incredibly strange looks.
Now, y'all practice that part a lot, though, the running in the shorts.
Yeah, we do that just...
That's just
yeah.
They were doing it on the deck
run.
earlier. But let me ask you a question. Tell them that funny thing that you had shown me once is like a tape of how racist or the shit that you could get away with before in WWE.
Oh, Jesus.
Remember?
Man. Yes. It was a different time, Carlos. You really want me to tell that story?
Yeah,
okay.
Set it up because it's funny.
Oh, no, it's nothing.
Do you guys promise not to tell anybody?
This is not an indictment on me because I'm pretty sure you can see this on the WWE network because it happened
For only...
Is it 99? Okay.
$9.99.
That's a hell of a deal. It's a hell of a deal. Anyways, there was a segment, and this was leading up to WrestleMania 2, where it was boxing Bob Orton against, it was Roddy Piper against Mr. T. And they did leading up to that, there was a Saturday night's main event where boxing Bob Orton was going to fight Mr. T. And they did rounds and stuff. And at the end of it, Piper came in and gave him the high knee, and they started beating him up. And, Jesus, Piper took off his belt. And he starts whipping Mr. T. And Jesse Ventura, who I'm a big fan of, by the way.
Huge
Governor
fan.
Ventura, I'm a huge fan of what he's doing today, more so. Jesus. When he starts whipping Mr. T, he goes, "Look at this, McMahon. It looks like Roots Part 2. Now, when I'm watching it, now I'm watching this, I'm a little kid. I'm like, 7, 8 years old. I have no idea what that means. But as, rewatching old tapes as like an 18-year-old man, I was like, holy shit, that was incredibly inappropriate. Like, if that happened today, right. Jesse Ventura would be a talking head on CNN the next morning. Breaking news, racist wrestling announcer fired from WWE. That just doesn't happen, man.
It doesn't age well.
It does not age well. It does not age well. So
if you go back and watch Rocky 3, when they walk into Apollo's gym,
Paulie's blatantly racist.
He just straight KKK's the whole area there, and I was going.
Yeah, he says I can't be seen around these people. I got a reputation. That's what he says. That's what he says. And I also love in that real quick how all the guys in the gym are just mad dogging Rocky when he walks in. And then as soon as Paula brings him over, they're like, "Hey, what's up, champ?" They're all cool with him all of a sudden. So there's definitely some holes in that plot, but I love those movies so much. I'm not gonna bury it.
Would you like to give these people some highlights of our trip in Lebanon?
Oh my good Lord, we can do that. September 2002. Somehow, I was a young up and coming pro wrestler. Got booked.
How long were you in the business at that point?
4 years, started in 98, so...
And 9/11 wasn't too long before.
It was literally maybe a year after 9/11. And so, I'm doing stuff with UPW in Southern California, trying to make a name for myself. And I get an offer to, hey, do you want to do 5 shows in Beirut, Lebanon? And everything in me said, fuck no. But I was young, wanted the experience.
Except his mouth.
Wanted to make money. Yeah. No, my wallet said yes. So okay, let's do a show and let's do 5 shows in Lebanon. And on the car, I saw who else was booked, and I saw Conan, who I'd never met. I had never met Conan at that point. Kurgan, who's a big player in this story later. PCO, the guy who's now PCO, he was just Carl Led at the time. Who else? Stevie Ray was there. Stevie Ray. Gamma Singh.
Yep.
Gamma Singh.
So a bunch of luchadors, basically.
Pretty much, yeah. And it was probably the most horrific experience, not only of my career, but of my life. It was a Murphy's Law tour where everything that could go wrong did. I got stuck in London, missed my connection, didn't get into Beirut, Lebanon till a day later at 2 a.m. I couldn't get to my hotel until like cabs started running. I took a cab, and our hotel. How would you describe our hotel? Like a hostel for camels. Like it was like a weird apartment building. Like it hadn't been cleaned ever. It was literally out of biblical times. My gear didn't arrive. I had to wrestle in my Tommy Hilfiger pants. I remember the first day. And
wait a minute, you packed your gear?
Oh,
You
I was
checked your
2002.
gear?
I was a dumbass. Yeah.
Rookie move.
Oh God, 100%. But God, where do we start? Like,
How about starting when we walked into a dressing room that smelled like 9,000 assholes, armpits, rotten eggs, onions, and fucking like sour milk. It was incredible. Just the stuff emanating from the walls in that locker room.
it smelled like a foot's asshole. It was. And have you ever smelled something so bad that there's like a wave of heat that hits you? That's what this locker room
Yeah, it was almost
like
like, when Pigpen would walk by with the little thing around it was like that in there. We actually dressed outside of the dressing room.
We started dressing, literally, it was so bad. Conan and I were dressing right where they were taking tickets and walking in. Literally lacing up our boots, like, what's going on? Because that locker room was, when I say unbearable, I mean literally, you walk in, you just, like you couldn't, it was horrific.
So it smelled like one of Disco's matches.
Pretty much.
Well played.
Oh, we're going to bury his ass the whole time. So.
Gonna bury him.
And then,
Oh man, you shoveled some dirt.
then if that wasn't bad enough, the Lebanese have beef with the Syrians.
Oh,
So they put these guys in a match, and it turns into a shoot. So they're fighting each other for real. They're bleeding.
What were their names? Do you remember the names of the
hell
guys?
no. They were just like local jadruls. I don't even think they were trained wrestlers. They were just guys beating each other up, and it spilled into the locker room right in front of us. The guy was bashing the guy's head against the wall, busted it over. And over there, they don't have like police. They have military.
Yeah.
Guys came down with assault rifles, pointing them at everybody.
That's how they broke it up.
I jumped in a closet and grabbed a broom handle. I don't know what I was going to do with it, but I was scared to death.
The guy walked out of the promoter walked out on us, so we had to sell tickets.
Yep, we had to take the money from the tickets because the promoters skipped town with the money.
Right. And being independent dumbass wrestlers, and me even being a veteran, being a dumbass, they were like, well, when we went to the embassy, so where's your contract? What contract? You're fucked. So that's the way that we made our money, just by selling tickets at the fucking at the box office. Please tell them about the little gem, and I forgot his name, the little French Beirut guy that we met, the taxi driver.
Yep. Well, we did. A couple guys didn't do all the shows, like Stevie Ray stuff. And because a couple guys didn't, the last night of the tour, I had to wrestle Kurgan for 30 minutes. That's right.
Shades of
30
Flair
minutes.
Steamboat.
Bob Flair and Steve Steamboat, not Rick. Yeah, maybe that. Yeah. So I'll get to our little friend in a second. But to eat, we would go to McDonald's because it was literally the only edible thing there. And Conan and I devised a brilliant
don't say
plan.
edible around Conan. You're going to trigger this motherfucker.
Hey, man.
He tried to kill me in damn Miami, so I'm still trying to get over that shit.
We devised a great plan to get free food. We'd get off the bus, and we would have Kurgan pretend he was a crazed monster. And he would come storming off the bus, just going, "Aah!" And he would go into McDonald's, and the people working behind the counter were terrified. They were just like this. And like Conan was like his kimchi, his handler. He's like, "No, Kurgan, no." And Kurgan's like, "Ah, ah, ah." And Conan's going, "Okay, he wants 2 Big Macs, and he wants 2 20-piece McNuggets." And Kurgan's, "Ah." And he wants 2 milkshakes. And so the people just cooked it up and pushed it because they've never seen anything like them. So we did that every night. Got our food, didn't pay a dime because they were afraid of Kurgan, the scary monster.
That is a true story.
100%.
That is awesome.
What a carny, but it worked. So anyways, the last night of the tour, we decided like, man, we got to blow off some steam. So there was this little French Beirut guy who was like our chauffeur / cab driver. And he's like, oh, I take you out. We have a good time. I'm like,
Kind of think of like tattoo with like a little fro.
yeah, right. We're like, you know what, let's do it. And he's like, oh, I gotta give you a good time. We take you out. So we get in this dude's car, and I've never been in a NASCAR, but I have driven in Tijuana. This guy was driving like he was in a NASCAR in Tijuana. And he took us to some club, and I remember we walked in, and
I remember the one thing I do remember, he was going so fast and so reckless. We kept thinking to ourselves, do they actually give tickets for speeding or reckless driving in Lebanon?
No, it was...
Because there's absolutely no way you could get away with that in the United States. But go ahead.
It was terrifying. Then we walk into the first club, and I'm a young man, not a whole lot of world experience. We walk in there, and there's just like 6 women lined up. And he's like, okay, my friend, here you go. And I'm like, And I guess it was like one of those put-over bars where you put-over bars. They were prostitutes. So we're like, okay, we'll go to a different place. We go to a different place, and it's okay. They're playing good music. So we're sitting around.
Why are you hating on prostitutes,
having some drinks.
man?
Well, that was 24-year-old me hating on prostitutes. So, hey, it's a living. But anyway, so we go to this other club, and we're just sitting having a couple drinks, and there's this guy out there, and he's just cutting a rug, or at least he thinks he is. He's just dancing his ass off, and our little guy, he's like, oh, fuck this guy, I can dance. So we're like, Colin's like, bro, go out there and dance. He's like, yeah. So our little guy goes out there, the dance floor clears. It was like something out of a movie, and there's a dance contest that starts. Our little tattoo afro guy against this other like tight suit like club goer guy. And they had a legitimate dance off. And this guy's doing like the milkshake and some bullshit. So, it was just unbelievable. It was unbelievable. You couldn't write it, man. It was unbelievable.
And people were coming out from everywhere. It looked like literally something out of Saturday Night Fever. The girls were coming out. And they turned into a dance-off. Our guy was doing backflips. The other guy was doing splits. It looked like, then it turned into like a dance-off, like you would see in New York, like when they battle and shit like that. It was incredible, bro. This guy was fucking ridiculous.
I thought I was being ribbed.
So at what point did y'all get involved in the dance?
Fuck, not at all, man. Not at all.
We were being entertained by Frenchie.
Hey, well, let's do this shot real quick, and we're going to do it to Kurgan. Yeah! We got you right there.
Oh, God. All right.
It's good for you. It builds character.
To Kurgan. Oh, my God. I'm never chewing cinnamon gum again.